As South Africa's constitutional democracy begins to take form, its adolescent stage has presented dilemmas that only the law can solve. Someone who has been at the forefront of the most highly publicized matters in the country is Adv Dali Mpofu SC. From an activist, worker, unionist paired with an extensive history in politics, followed by a career in law, Mpofu has seen himself shouldering figures who have been at odds with the law. Winnie Matikizela Mandela at the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings into the death of Stompie Sepe, then suspended SARS Commissioner Tom Moyane, as well as impeached public protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane, to name a few.
It's my belief that everyone deserves a legal defense. It's something that's taken for granted, until you get into trouble. But that actually every human being, even a serial rapist, a pedophile, child rapist, the worst human being you can think of, deserves legal representation.
The impact is not just on the immediate interests of the president, but it transcends into the interests of the public.
What we have here is a simple pedestrian charge. A person who has been charged, we must just come to court.
Arguably the biggest case to enter South Africa's court this year on the back of the ANC's 55th National Conference is former President Jacob Zuma's bid to privately prosecute his successor, President Ramaphosa, a state advocate and a journalist over the alleged leak of his health records in the KwaZulu-Natal High Court corruption trial. A bid that has been found to be an abuse of court process and something pursued for an ulterior purpose.
How can you say that the leaking of somebody's medical information is not confidential or private? Which would you like your medical information to be bandied about? Which human being would like to do that?
Despite a spate of litigation that has delayed the start of his corruption trial, prompting questions of Stalingrad tactics to ultimately avoid his day in court through recusals, litigation, as well as a private prosecution bid, Mpofu has dismissed this as a quote-unquote fallacy, insisting that the former president is ready for his day in court.
Of course, that's nothing that he wants more than to stand trial, but in a fair court. The person who prosecutes you is the NPA, right? The NPA has at its disposal more than 1,000 state advocates, right? Just like President Zuma is represented by me, if I died tomorrow, it wouldn't mean that he's not going to be represented. Similarly, if Downer, God forbid, was hit by a bus tomorrow, the prosecution would continue.
Probed on the concept of media freedom and the dangerous precedent that may be set in attempting to prosecute a journalist performing their duties, Mpofu said the following.
Media freedom is not the right to commit crimes. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. There is no right to commit a crime by anyone. There isn't.
The private prosecution of the president, state advocate and journalist remains on the court roll as the former president continues to appeal in a bid to keep it alive. Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Johannesburg.